swimming. This summer, Jeff will do some flying, and in the fall, he will be attending Seattle Pacific University. Bradley Howard Thompson. This summer, Brad will work at the Opera House in stage production, and in the fall, he plans to attend Seattle Community College. Carol Ann Thurber. Carol will be working full-time this summer and in the fall attending Shoreline.
We were instructed on the various aspects of the role of a parent and mate. I think this had a lot to do with our class's positive outlook because it brought us to the realization that we are no longer kids, but we are on the verge of adult responsibility. As the year progressed on, we saw our various sports teams doing quite well. In fall, our girls volleyball team made it to district. Our boys football team had an excellent season. And to top these two, our cross-country team had a great show in state. Thanking the winter sports season, which was even better, the boys' varsity basketball team just missed going to state. The wrestling squad did quite well, sending 2 members to state. And the highlight of the winter season was the girls' varsity basketball team taking 3rd in state tourney. Thanking the spring sports season, for the first time we had girls softball. Our boys baseball team did very well in district. And the year of sports for 1978-1979 was ended perfectly by our track team taking 4th in the state track meet, having a state champion quarter miler for mile relay. But sports wasn't the only thing that made this year great. There were socials, homecoming, and many other activities that are now memories. But more importantly, the thing I reflect and dwell upon this past year at King's was the spiritual growth received. Many members of our class re-examined their relationship with Christ and began closer walks with Him. I think this was the greatest thing for our senior year because it gave us someone we can reflect on for eternity. Thank you.
As I stand up here, I can recall sitting where you're sitting now, seeing previous classes receive their diplomas, hearing a few people give their speeches, and wondering what it would be like when I graduated. Well now, the day has arrived. I've discovered that graduation is more than picking up your diploma. Rather, I've discovered that graduation is a time for reflecting back on all the achievements and experiences which we have had, and for commemorating the 12 years of the process we now call education. As Connie's already shared with us, there are many pleasant memories which none of us can forget. But just as graduation is a time for looking back, it is also a time for looking forward. I was asked to talk about the future in my speech, and this is a very difficult area to talk about because, as you know, there is very little we know about the future. The only thing we can be certain about the future is that it's going to be uncertain. We can't be certain of having a job. We can't be certain of having enough resources to keep our high standard of living. We can't be certain that the world will be in one piece tomorrow. So what makes this class so optimistic about its future? Well, I believe the King's Gardens class of 79 is optimistic because we have come to an understanding of 3 gifts of God that will make our future satisfying and gratifying. The first gift of God that is one of the keys to our future is the gift of faith. In Matthew 17:20 it says, If you have faith as a mustard seed, you shall say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it shall move, and nothing shall be impossible to you. I'd like to repeat that, nothing shall be impossible to you. No matter what the situation is, and no matter how impossible it may look, we can be successful because we have faith, and this faith will carry us His faith can carry us through any problems. A man who demonstrated what faith can do is a man whose name we easily recognize, but whose actions we easily forget. This man is Mike Martin. If it hadn't been for his great faith and courage in the Lord, King's Gardens wouldn't be here today. So often it is easy for us as Christians to live, act, and proceed as the world does. Yet, think what would have happened if Mike Martin had acted as the world would have wanted him to act. He wouldn't have gone around, quote, making a fool of himself, walking around in his bare feet, claiming the areas for the Lord, and because of that witness that would have been lost, the Lord might not have given King's Gardens to us. Many times Mike Martin was brought into impossible situations, but because of his faith, the Lord brought him through, as he will do for any of us. The second gift of God that he will give to us is hope. Without hope, what reason is there for any of us to go forward? As Christians, we have hope. We have the promises that God will take care of us, and He'll always be with us. And He'll always guide us along life's path. As I mentioned before, the world can't guarantee very much. About all it can guarantee us is a brief time of pleasure. And this is where the Christian is at a third advantage over the one living in the world. The Christian doesn't have to waste his time seeking happiness and pleasure and fulfillment in life, because he already has it. And he can look forward to a better life beyond. The last gift of God, and I'm sure you've already guessed it, is love. In 1 Corinthians 13, verse 13, we read, "There are three things that remain: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love." This is the most important gift because it is the gift that God gives us that will keep us going. As a Christian, we don't have to look to others for love, but we can look to God, and we can receive and we can give love instead of looking to receive it. To the non-Christian, a bright future is a future that will yield prestige, personal influence, and wealth. But to a member of the King's Gardens Class of 79, a bright future is a future that is committed to the Lord. And when each of us look back upon our lives when we reach the age of 70, God willing, we will be able to say to ourselves, "I wouldn't have wanted my life to have been any other way." Thank you.